The Yajurveda is the Veda of prose mantras, an ancient Vedic Sanskrit text. It is a compilation of ritual offering formulas that were said by a priest while an individual performed ritual actions such as those before the yajna fire. Yajurveda is one of the four Vedas, and one of the scriptures of Hinduism. The exact century of Yajurveda's composition is unknown, and estimated by scholars to be around 1200 to 1000 BCE. Contemporaneous with Samaveda and Atharva Veda. The Yajurveda is broadly grouped into two, the black Yajurveda and the white Yajurveda. The term black implies the unarranged, unclear, motley collection of verses in Yajurveda, in contrast to the white, which implies the well-arranged, clear Yajurveda. The black Yajurveda has survived in 4 recensions, while 2 recensions of white Yajurveda has survived into the modern times. The earliest and most ancient layer of Yajurveda Samhita includes about 1,875 verses that are distinct yet borrow and build upon the foundation of verses in Rig Veda. The middle layer includes the Satapatha Brahmana, one of the largest Brahmana texts in the Vedic collection. The youngest layer of Yajurveda text includes the largest collection of primary Upanishads, influential to various schools of Hindu philosophy. These include the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the Aishya Upanishad, the Taittiriya Upanishad, the Katha Upanishad, the Svetasvatara Upanishad and the Maitreya Upanishad. Etymology. Yajurveda is a compound Sanskrit word, composed of yajus and Veda. Minir Williams translates yajus as religious reverence, veneration, worship, sacrifice, a sacrificial prayer formula, particularly mantras muttered in a peculiar manner at a sacrifice. Veda means knowledge. Johnson states yajus means prose formulae or mantras, contained in the Yajurveda, which are muttered. Michael Witzel interprets Yajurveda to mean a knowledge text of prose mantras, used in Vedic rituals. Ralph Griffith interprets the name to mean knowledge of sacrifice or sacrificial texts and formulas. Carl Olson states that Yajurveda is a text of mantras that are repeated and used in rituals. Text. Recensions. The Yajurveda text includes Shukla Yajurveda, of which about 16 recensions are known, while the Krishna Yajurveda may have had as many as 86 recensions. Only 2 recensions of the Shukla Yajurveda have survived, Madhyandina and Kamva, and others are known by name only because they are mentioned in other texts. These 2 recensions are nearly the same, except for few differences. In contrast to Shukla Yajurveda, the 4 surviving recensions of Krishna Yajurveda are very different versions. Shukla Yajurveda. The Samhita in the Shukla Yajurveda is called the Vijasani Samhita. The name Vijasani is derived from Vijasaniya, patronymic of sage Yajnavalkya, and the founder of the Vijasani branch. There are 2 surviving recensions of the Vijasani Samhita, Vijasani Madhyandina and Vijasani Kamva. The lost recensions of white Yajurveda, mentioned in other texts of ancient India, include Jabala, Baudyar, Sapi, Tapaniya, Karpola, Paundravatsa, Ivati, Paramavartika, Parasara, Vainya, Vidhaya, Katyayana and Vijayavapa. Krishna Yajurveda. There are 4 surviving recensions of the Krishna Yajurveda, Taittiriya Samhita, Maitrayani Samhita, Katha Samhita and Kapasthala Samhita. A total of 86 recensions are mentioned to exist in Vayu Purana, however vast majority of them are believed to be lost. The Katha school is referred to as a sub-school of Karakas in some ancient texts of India, because they did their scholarship as they wandered from place to place. The best known and best preserved of these recensions is the Taittiriya Samhita. Some attribute it to Taittiriya, a pupil of Yaksa and mentioned by Panini. The text is associated with the Taittiriya school of the Yajurveda, and attributed to the pupils of sage Taittiriya. The Maitrayani Samhita is the oldest Yajurveda Samhita that has survived, and it differs largely in content from the Taittiriya. as well as in some different arrangement of chapters, but is much more detailed. The Kathaka Samhita or the Karaka Katha Samhita, according to tradition, was compiled by Katha, a disciple of Vaisampayana. Like the Maitrayani Samhita, it offers much more detailed discussion of some rituals than the younger Taittiriya Samhita that frequently summarizes such accounts. The Kapasthala Samhita or the Kapasthala Katha Samhita, named after the sage Kapasthala, is extant only in some large fragments and edited without accent marks. This text is practically a variant of the Kathaka Samhita. Organization: each regional edition of Yajurveda had Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyakas, Upanishads as part of the text, with Shruta Sutras, Graya Sutras and Pratishakya attached to the text. In Shukla Yajurveda, the text organization is same for both Madhyandina and Kamvishakas. The texts attached to Shukla Yajurveda include the Katyayana Shruta Sutra, Paraskara Graya Sutra and Shukla Yajurveda Pratishakya. In Krishna Yajurveda, each of the recensions has or had their Brahmana text mixed into the Samhita text, thus creating a motley of the prose and verses, and making it unclear, disorganized. Contents: Samhitas. The Vajrasani Samhita has 40 chapters or adhyayas, containing the formulas used with the following rituals. Structure of the mantras. The various ritual mantras in the Yajurveda Samhitas are typically set in a meter, and call on Vedic deities such as the Savita, Indra, Agni, Prajapati, Rudra, and others. The Taittiriya Samhita in Book 4, for example, includes the following verses for the Agnikayana ritual recitation. First, harnessing the mind. Savita, creating thoughts and perceiving light, brought Agni from the earth. Harnessing the gods with mind, they who go with thought to the sky, to heaven. Savita instigates those who will make great light. With the mind harnessed, we are instigated by God Savita, for strength to go to heaven, whose journey the other gods follow, praising the power of the God, who measured the radiant regions of the earth. He is the great God Savita. God Savita, impel the ritual, impel for good fortune the Lord of ritual. Divine Gandharva, purifier of thought, purify our thoughts. May the Lord of speech make our words sweet. God Savita, impel for us this ritual, honoring the gods, gaining friends, always victorious, winning wealth, winning heaven. Taittiriya Samhita 4.1.1, translated by Fritz Stahl. Satapatha Brahmana. The title Satapatha Brahmana means Brahmana of the 100 Paths. It is one of the largest Brahmana texts that has survived. It includes, states Stahl, a veritable encyclopedia of meandering opinions on ritual and other matters. The Satapatha Brahmana was translated by Egerling in late 19th century, reprinted often, and has been well read because of the translation. However, it has been misinterpreted and misused, states Stahl, because it contains enough material to support any theory. Egerling, the first translator of Satapatha Brahmana, called it flimsy symbolism rather than serious reasoning, similar to speculative vaporings found in the Christian and non-Christian variety of Gnosticism. Upanishads. The Yajurveda has 6 primary Upanishads embedded within it. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is found in the White Yajurveda. It is one of the Mukhya Upanishads, and among the largest and oldest as well. It is key scripture of Hinduism that has influenced all schools of Hindu philosophy. The text is a treatise on Atman, with passages on metaphysics, ethics and a yearning for knowledge that influenced various Indian religions, ancient and medieval scholars. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is among the earliest extensive discussions of the Hindu concept of dharma, karma and moksha. Paul Dayeson calls it unique in its richness and warmth of presentation, with profoundness that retains its full worth in modern times. Max Muller illustrated its style as follows: but when he, self, fancies that he is, as it were, a god, or that he is, as it were, a king, or I amness altogether, that is his highest world. This indeed is his form, free from desires, free from evil, free from fear. Now as a man, when embraced by a beloved wife, knows nothing that is without, nothing that is within, thus this person, when embraced by the prajna self, knows nothing that is without, nothing that is within. This indeed is his form, in which his wishes are fulfilled, in which the self only is his wish, in which no other wish is left. He is free from any sorrow. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Chapter 4, Brahmanam 3, Hymns 20-32. Translated by Max Muller. Aishya Upanishad. The Aishya Upanishad is found in the White Yajurveda. It is one of the shortest Upanishads, embedded as the final chapter of the Shukla Yajurveda, a key scripture of the Vedanta subschools of Hinduism. Its name is derived from hidden in the Lord. The Aishya Upanishad discusses the Atman theory of Hinduism, and is referenced by both Dvaita and Advaita subschools of Vedanta. It is classified as a poetic Upanishad, along with Kena, Katha, Svetasvatara and Mundaka Upanishads. Taittiriya Upanishad. The Taittiriya Upanishad is found in the Black Yajurveda. It is the 7th, 8th and 9th chapters of Taittiriya Upanishad, which are also called, respectively, the Siksha Valley, the Ananda Valley and the Bhrigu Valley. The Taittiriya Upanishad includes verses that are partly prayers and benedictions, partly instruction on phonetics and praxis, partly advice on ethics and morals given to graduating students from ancient Vedic Gurukul, partly a treatise on allegory, and partly philosophical instruction. The text offers a view of education system in ancient India. It also includes sections on ethics and invocation for one's personal development. Max Muller translates the text's 10th anuvaka, for example, as an affirmation of one's self as incapable, empowered blissful being. The 10th anuvaka asserts, I am he who shakes the tree. I am glorious like the top of a mountain. I, whose pure light has risen, am that which is truly immortal, as it resides in the sun. I am the treasure, wise, immortal, imperishable. This is the teaching of the Veda, by sage Trisanku. Taittiriya Upanishad. The Taittiriya Upanishad is found in the Black Yajurveda. The Upanishad is the legendary story of a little boy, Nachiketa, the son of sage Vajrasrivasa, who meets Yama, the Indian deity of death. Their conversation evolves to a discussion of the nature of man, knowledge, Atman and moksha. The Taittiriya Upanishad is an important ancient Sanskrit corpus of the Vedanta subschools. It asserts that Atman exists, teaches the precept, seek self-knowledge which is highest bliss, and expounds on this premise like the other primary Upanishads of Hinduism. The detailed teachings of Taittiriya Upanishad have been variously interpreted, as Dvaita and as Advaita. The Taittiriya Upanishad found in the Yajurveda is among the most widely studied Upanishads. Philosophers such as Arthur Schopenhauer praised it, Edwin Arnold rendered it in verses, The Secret of Death, and Ralph Waldo Emerson credited Taittiriya Upanishad for the central story at the end of his essay Immortality, as well as his poem, Brahma. Svetasvatara Upanishad. The Svetasvatara Upanishad is found in the Black Yajurveda. The text opens with metaphysical questions about the primal cause of all existence, its origin, its end, and what role, if any, did time, nature, necessity, chance, the spirit had as primal cause. It then develops its answer, concluding that the universal soul exists in every individual, it expresses itself in every creature, everything in the world is a projection of it, and that there is oneness, a unity of souls in one and only self. The Svetasvatara Upanishad is notable for its discussion of the concept of personal God, Ishvara, and suggesting it to be a path to one's own highest self. The text is also notable for its multiple mentions of both Rudra and Shiva, along with other Vedic deities. and of crystallization of Shiva as a central theme. Taittiriya Upanishad. The Taittiriya Upanishad, also known as the Maitreya Upanishad, is found in the Black Yajurveda. It consists of 7 prapathakas. The first prapathaka is introductory, the next 3 are structured in a question-answer style and discuss metaphysical questions relating to Atman, while the 5th to 7th prapathaka are supplements. However, several manuscripts discovered in different parts of India contain lesser number of prapathakas, with a Telugu language version showing just 4. The common kernel of the Maitreya Upanishad across different recensions, states Max Muller, is a reverence for soul, that can be summarized in a few words as, is the self, the immortal, the fearless, the Brahman. The Taittiriya Upanishad is notable for its references to theories also found in Buddhism, elements of the Samkhya and Yoga schools of Hinduism, as well as the ashrama system. Strauta Sutras. The Yajurveda had Strauta Sutras and Graya Sutras attached to it, from 15 schools: Apastamba, Agastya, Agnivshaka, Baudhayana, Bharadvaja, Hiranyakeshi, Kaundinya, Kusadaka, Katyayana, Lokaksita, Madhyamdana, Pankakathaka, Satyasada, Sakala, Sandalya, Vaikanazar, and Vajula. Of these 9 have survived, along with portions of Kaundinya. Dating and historical context. The core text of the Yajurveda falls within the classical mantra period of Vedic Sanskrit at the end of the 2nd millennium BCE, younger than the Rigveda, and roughly contemporary with the Atharvaveda, the Rigvedic Kalani, and the Samaveda. The scholarly consensus dates the bulk of the Yajurveda and Atharvaveda hymns to the early Indian Iron Age, 1200 or 1000 BC, corresponding to the early Kuru kingdom. The Vedas are notoriously hard to date accurately as they are compilations and were traditionally preserved through oral tradition, leaving virtually no archaeological evidence. Scholars such as Georg Feuerstein and others suggest that the dates given to most of these texts is far too late. The text is a useful source of information about the agriculture, economic and social life during the Vedic era. The verses, for example, list the types of crops considered important in ancient India: my rice plants and my barley, and my beans and my sesame, and my kidney beans and my vetches, and my pearl millet and my prosa millet, and my sorghum and my wild rice, and my wheat and my lentils. Prosper by sacrifice. White Yajurveda 18.12, Manuscripts and Translations. Most surviving manuscripts and recensions of Yajurveda's Samhitas, Aranyakas and Brahmanas remain and translated into Western languages. The 2 reliable translations are from British India colonial era, and have been widely studied. These are Abkeith's translation of Taittiriya Samhita of the Black Yajurveda, and Julius Egling's translation of Satapatha Brahmana of the White Yajurveda. Ralph Griffith published an early translation of White Yajurveda Samhita. However, Fritz Stahl has questioned his translations and considers them fantasies and best discarded. Devi Chand published a reinterpreted translation of Yajurveda in 1965, reprinted as 3rd edition in 1980, wherein the translation incorporated Dayananda Saraswati's monotheistic interpretations of the Vedic text, and the translation liberally adds, "O Lord," and "the Creator" to various verses, unlike other translators. As a Vedam forgery in 18th century, French Jesuits published his Vedam, claiming it to be a translation of a recension of the Yajurveda. The Yajurveda was studied by Voltaire, and later declared a forgery, representing Jesuit ideas to Indians as a Vedic school.